our next topic, and that is design of negative linear power supply. Okay, is it visible to all? Whatever the things I written on the board, is it okay? Is it visible,
Yes,
readable?
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, uh, as per that previous our scheme question, Himanshu given the correct answer, and that answer is, see, whenever that wire is wounded, or whenever that it will going on to act as a coil, and whenever we will going on to pass the AC current through it, that coil will going on to provide some reactance, own reactance, right? And that reactance is XL, which is equals to 2 pi FL, and it will be dependent on the applied input signal frequency, that is of 50 hertz, into the inductance offered by that coil, right? And whenever we will going to consider only uh, wire spreaded on the floor, that wire will have very low resistance. Resistance offered by the wire, it will be very less as compared to the reactance offered by that coil. That's why I written here that our wire, if it is of 10 ohm only, the reactance offered by the coil replied by using the same wire, it will be very high. That is 2 pi FL, is it? And that's why whenever it will be wounded on that bobbin, it will be going to generate some flux. And that's why what we can say that uh, flux, it will going on to provide the resistance to the flow of current. And that's why the current flowing through that coil, it will be very, very small amount of current, is it? As compared to the resistance flowing when that wire is spreaded without winding, is it? You can calculate if that wire offers 10 ohm resistance and it is just threaded, if it is powered by 230 volt AC supply, then current will be, it's very simple, V equals to IR. That's why I equals to V, that is 230 volts divided by R. If we consider the resistance offered by that wire is of 10 ohm only, you will observe that current flowing, it will be of 23 amperes. So this 23 ampere, it is a very huge amount of current, remember. And that's why as that primary wire, it is very thin, such type of huge amount of current will go on to damage it immediately. Is it? Is it clear now to all? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So respond me immediately. Okay. Now, our during our previous lecture, we discussed about design and development of positive linear power supply, and that example we taken, that is for 5 volt and 1 ampere regulated power supply, right? Now we'll see the negative LPS. In few applications, we require positive DC voltage as well as negative DC voltage. For example, can you give the example where you require positive regulated power supply as well as negative regulated power supply? Do you have any example with you where you required the
The
positive as
dual
well as
power regulated supply.
what?
Dual power regulated supply.
No,
With
no,
a
that is
with
the
a
design. That is the design. But where you require it? Is there any
Open.
application?
op-amp.
Yes, yes, very nice. Whenever you have to use op-amp, then op-amp requires a dual power supply, that is positive as well as negative, right now. And that's why there is need to design such type of negative LPS, linear power supply. That means, as it is mentioned, it is of LPS. That means, again, we will going on to design and develop it by using linear IC regulator. And that linear negative IC regulators are 79 series. Are you agree with this? Again, that last 2 digits, it indicates the negative output voltage of that regulator IC. Okay, 78 series, it is preferred for, or it is a positive fixed voltage regulator. Similarly, 79 series, it is fixed negative regulator, right? So the problem statement, again, we will take, that is the output of that linear power supply, it should be of minus 5 volt with 1 ampere current rating. And it should be again regulated, right? Once we will complete it, later on we'll see what is mean by regulated power supply and why it is required, right? That's why we are designing it. Okay. So as I told, this 79 series is nothing but negative fixed regulator. So if we want the output as minus 5 volt, that means we have to prefer 7905 3-terminal IC regulator. Are you agree with this? Whenever you will require plus 5 volt, then you have to use 7805. Whenever you will require negative 5 volt, that means you have to use 7905 IC regulator. Are you agree with this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the main thing that you have to remember, whenever you are using any regulator, either positive or negative, you have to think about its input in terms of either positive or negative. See, during our previous design, whenever we prefer that 7805, in that case, we use input as a positive unregulated DC voltage, right? Then and then, that regulator IC, that is 7805, can provide us the output as plus 5 volt. Now, in this case, you have to remember the input to 79 series, it should be negative DC voltage. So, is it possible to obtain the negative DC voltage?
नेगेटिव्हने मिळू शकत, तर पोलॅरिटी चेंज केली की आपण अप्लाय करू शकतो. लाईक पॉझिटिव्हचा नेगेटिव्ह लावायचा आणि नेगेटिव्हला पॉझिटिव्ह.
Okay. Instead of that, why we can't generate the negative voltage? Why you are saying we can't generate it?
सर वी कॅन जनरेट, बट काय बोलता, नाही 2 मिनिट.
Yes, we can generate. Remember,
वी कॅन जनरेट. येस, कारण एसी सप्लायला काय बोलता नेगेटिव्ह पार्ट असतो, सो वी कॅन जनरेट बाय रेक्टिफायर पल्सेटिंग नेगेटिव्ह.
yes, it's very simple. Just change the direction of all diodes which you are using in your conventional rectifier to produce the output as positive. Are you getting it? So see, I will give here one simple example. Suppose there is a rectifier circuit by using 2 diodes, that is full wave rectifier, and by connecting the diode in series like this, now the requirement is center tap transformer, as we are using full wave rectifier using 2 diode only. Now remember, if this is of RL, the obtained output by this rectifier circuit, it will be like this, pulsating DC below the x-axis. Are you agree with this? And whenever you will take the average of this one, that is VO average, that will be equals to minus twice Vm by pi again. That means we can obtain the negative as we can obtain the output as negative. That is minus twice of Vm by pi. Is it? So just reverse the polarity of that diode. The obtained output will be negative. And such type of negative output of that rectifier you can apply, or you have to apply as an input to this 79, because first requirement of 79 is what? Its input should be negative. Remember. Then and then it can produce the rated regulated negative output. That means in this case, for 7905, if we require the output as minus 5 volt, the first thing is what? You have to apply input to that 7905 regulator as a negative. And again, same as that of 78 series, it's V in minimum, it should be of minus 7 to 8 volts, and V in max, which this IC can sustain, it is of minus 37 volts. Are you getting it? See what I done? I only changed the polarity of that input. In case of 78, what I return? I return that V in min 7 to 8 volt, but for 7905, it will be minus 7 to minus 8. And maximum again same, that is 37. In case of 78 plus 37, and in case of 7-9, it will be minus 37. Is it clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll take the same problem statement, that is design and develop negative linear power supply for the output of minus 5 volt with 1 ampere current rating, right? Again, I will want to prefer here the bridge rectifier circuit so that there is no need of center tap transformer. Okay. Only I will want to reverse the direction of all that diodes so that it can produce the output negative pulsating DC, and then later on again I will want to filter it by using a filter capacitor so that we can produce the pure DC voltage. See, what is the difference between pure DC? I am not saying about regulated DC. That will be pure. That means pulsating DC. It will get converted into pure DC by using filter. That harmonics or unwanted signals will get removed by that filter capacitor. Only the care you have to take about the polarity of that connected capacitor. See, it should be like this. Then and then it will go on to produce the pure negative DC voltage. See, when you will go on to compare this circuit diagram with the previous one, you will observe all the diodes are in trivial direction. So here the obtained output, it will be negative. That's why this filter capacitor, its negative terminal should be connected over here. Otherwise, it will get burst if positive is connected towards the upper side, right? Whatever output you will obtain here, this output is nothing but what? Output negative unregulated. And this negative unregulated output we will going to use as an input to that 7905. I will going to use 7905 negative fixed voltage regulator, and again it will be somewhat like this. From the data sheet, you have to identify which pin is input pin, which one is common, and which one is output, right? This is nothing but our RL, so that IL max, it should get limit to 1 ampere, and the obtained output is minus 5 volt. Are you agree with this? This is nothing but input pin of that regulator. This one is the ground pin of that regulator IC, 3-terminal IC, and this one is the output. Okay, that pin number, assigned pin number, that IC regulator will look somewhat like this. I will try to show you here. It looks somewhat like this. This is nothing but heat sink, and there are 3 pins. Out of these 3, for this 79 series, I think pin number 3 is the input.
Pin number 1 is common.
Pin number 3 is input, pin number 1 that is ground, and pin number 2 that is the output. Okay, you just check it from the data sheet. Okay,
Sir, 2 wala input hai.
What?
Second pin is input.
Whatever. You will get all these things in the data sheet. No need to remember. Okay, don't worry about it. But only while using that regulator IC, you have to prefer, you have to use the data sheet of that or any device, Okay. So here again we will be going to use the main supply as the input to our linear power supply, and we'll be going to produce the output at minus 5 volt with the maximum current rating of 1 ampere. Again, the suggestion by the manufacturer is given. Suppose that unregulated power supply is somewhat long distance with the regulator IC, then there is a need of two capacitors at the input as well as output side to minimize the transients which gets induced if that unregulated power supply is with somewhat large distance from the regulator IC. If it is very close immediately across this filter capacitor, then there is no need of these two capacitors. Okay. So these two capacitors are used to improve the transients, remember. Okay. And the values are also mentioned in the data sheet, how much value capacitor you can prefer as the input and output side of that regulator IC. Now, our actual design part, it will be again same as that of our previous discussion, but I think during our previous discussion, we do not calculate the value of this RL min and RL max. Okay. RL max, you can keep it up to infinite. That means whenever you will going on to disconnect that RL from the output of that linear IC regulator, it will not going on to affect the working of that LPS. Why? Because whenever you will going on to disconnect it, the load current will be zero. Is it? But what you have to worry? You have to worry about how much minimum resistance shall I apply to protect my this linear power supply from the overcurrent, right? Already here we stated that linear power supply it is designed for 1 ampere current rating. That means you have to find out how much minimum resistance or how much minimum resistive load shall I connect to it so that it will not going on to consume the current beyond the rating we taken while the designing of this LPS. Is it? So how much will be this RL min? Can you determine? It's again very simple. Just take the level of voltage, that is V divided by I. Is it? How much output voltage we will obtain? We'll take only the value of that voltage divided by current, as it should be of 1 ampere maximum. That means you can connect minimum resistance or minimum resistive load of 5 ohm across the output of the 7905. So that we can consume, or that load can consume the maximum current, that is IL max of 1 ampere. Are you getting it? Suppose by mistake you have connected that RL of, we can say, 1 ohm only. If the load connected is of 1 ohm only, what will be going to happen? That load, or through that load, how much will be the flow of current? It will become 5 amperes. Right now, E equals to IR again. So I equals to V by R. If that connected RL is of only 1 ohm, as the voltage available is of 5 volt, we can say the flow of current will be of 5 amperes. Is it? The shown current direction will not be like this. It will be like this, as it is a negative power supply. In case of 7805, it will be from top to bottom. Okay. Here, ground will be more positive as compared to this terminal. And that's why it is written as minus 5 volts. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting the significance of this RL? How much it should get? How much it should get limit? Right now, it should get limit up to 5 ohm only. Below it, the flow of current will get exceed to 1 ampere, and that will be harmful to our linear power supply. Any one component may get damaged immediately. Or first of all, this 79 series or this regulator IC, it will get heated. Okay. Again, one more thing that you have to remember, for 78 series as well as for 79 series, as per the data sheet, it can provide the maximum current. I think it is of 1.2 ampere to 1.5 ampere. We should not get exceed above this current, right? Otherwise, that IC regulator gets damaged. But there are few applications where you might require that load current somewhat more than that of this rated current. That means in few applications, you might be required the regulated voltage as, for example, we can say 5 volt and the load current of 2 amperes. Then in that case, don't prefer this much circuit. You have to use current boosting with the regulator IC. So that regulator IC will be going to produce the regulated voltage, and that current boosting circuitry with this one will going on to provide the extra current what that load requires. Is it? Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So same as that of previous, you can determine the value of the transformer, how much you will require by taking that input minimum as -7 -7 to 8 volt by considering that V in during our previous lecture. I already given all that values as considering it as a 10 volts and all that. Is it? And later on we finalize that transformer. It should be of, I think, 12 volt transformer for 8 series, 12 volt and 2 ampere current rating, right? According to that current rating, how the size also gets increased, that also I shown during the previous lecture. So why the size gets differ? See, if you can recall, I shown that 3 blocks. First one was very small and I rated it as 12 volt, I think 500 milliampere. Then second one is somewhat more large in size as compared to first. And I was rated it as, I think 12 volt and 1 ampere. And the next third one, I rated it as again 12 volt and how much was the current? I think it was 2 ampere.
4 amperes.
Or 5 ampere, right? So that size gets increased. I tried to show it by increasing the size. The voltage rating of all that 3 transformer remains same, that is 12 volt. But the current rating gets increased. That means the conclusion is what? The size of transformer, conventional transformer, it increases by increasing the current rating of that transformer. So my question is why? If current rating of transformer increases, its size also gets increased. Why? You can think on it. And the answer is very, very simple.
Size of conductorची size वाढत असेल त्याच्यामुळे.
What?
The size of conductor should be increased.
Yes, that's all, nothing else. See, if the transformer secondary current rating is of 500 milliampere and another one is of 5 amperes, right? Whatever secondary winding you will be going to wound, or whatever wire you will be going to prefer, in case of first, that wire have to sustain maximum of how much current? 500 milliampere. But for second case, that secondary current, as it is rated as 5 ampere, that means whatever wire is used for the winding purpose of that secondary, that wire have to sustain how much current? It is of 5 ampere, is it? And as the current handling capacity increases, the conductor size also gets increased. And when conductor size will get increased, just imagine, suppose there are 500 number of tons. How much area it will be going to cover? And whenever that conductor rated for 500 milliampere, that means it will be very thin conductor. And again, if 500 number of tons are given, how much area it will get covered? So it's very simple. Whenever that size of conductor increases, the area covered to have that much number of tons, that area also gets increased, and that's why the size of that transformer increases, nothing else. As well as its weight also gets somewhat increased, because as we are using somewhat heavy conductor for high current rating, its weight is also more, right? So all that are very, we can say, simple topic or simple reasons behind that. Now about the diodes. I think that part was remaining, and whatever discussion we will do over here, that will be applicable for 7/8 series as well as 7/9 series, right? So the first thing that you have to remember while selecting the diode is what? About its reverse voltage handling capacity. And that is nothing but PIV. It is given in the data sheet. I think for that 1N4007, that PIV rating given, or reverse peak voltage handling capacity for that particular diode is given as 1000 volts. Okay. And whenever you will be going to prefer this transformer of 12 volt transformer, don't consider this 12 volt as a peak voltage. Huh? This 12 volt is what? It is RMS value. You have to calculate in terms of peak. Is it? So as we know, during first positive half cycle, 2 diodes are in conduction while 2 are in reverse bias. Is it? Reverse bias means what? Whatever reverse peak voltage we will be going to apply to that diode should have that much capacity to sustain it, or to keep that reverse voltage in blocking state. And that is nothing but PIV rating. correct? Already for 1N4007, it is very large. It is almost 1000 volts. So no need to worry about that selected diode. But you should know the reason behind that. Or whenever you will going to handle somewhat large voltage, then in that case, you have to calculate how much peak reverse voltage you will going to apply to that selected diode, and can it sustain it or not, right? And that value it is given in the data sheet. So no need to worry about it again. Okay. Then second one, that is the forward current handling capacity. I forward max. How much is the maximum forward current handling capacity of 1N4007? Whenever we studied that PN junction diode, at that time also I explained, and I think that current was 1 ampere, right? So whenever you will go on to design and develop any linear power supply, what output current you are taking and what peak current is flowing to the selected diode, that you have to remember, and accordingly again you have to select that particular diode. Then filter capacitor, this one. What is the purpose of filter capacitor? That filter capacitor, it is used
पल्सेटिव्ह DC ला कन्वर्ट करण्यासाठी प्युअर DC मध्ये.
Yes, don't say regulated. Huh? I'm saying again and again, don't say. See, after or over here, whatever DC voltage you will get across these 2 points, it will be pure DC. That means it will be a straight line like this. But this straight line, it is not a regulated DC. Is it? What is meant by that regulated, or why we are calling this obtained DC voltage across the rectifier as unregulated? That also, is there need to explain it? What is meant by unregulated and regulated? Shall I explain it or shall I go ahead?
No, sir.
What?
You can go ahead.
Okay. So the obtained output DC voltage after rectifier, it is a pure DC with filter, but it is not regulated. It is unregulated DC. By connecting load, suppose if you have connected load over here, then this pure DC may get converted like this, right? That means fluctuation occurs in that DC voltage, and that's why its average value also gets degraded. Remember, if you try to find out the average of this one, it will be somewhat less than that of straight line. Previously, whatever I drawn, that is a straight line to indicate it is a pure DC, the average value, it also gets degraded, and that's why we are calling it as unregulated, right? Now, we'll see that term, what is mean by that regulated output. And for that, I will take one example. For the same regulator IC, first column I will prepare for IL in milliamperes, and second one, that is the output voltage in volts. Is it? Whenever I will not go on to connect any load resistance across this regulator IC, how much will be the current? That current will be 0. And how much will be the output voltage? It will be -5 volts. Are you agree with this? Now later on, if I connected some RL over here and change its resistance in such a way that the current flowing through this RL is of 5 milliamperes, right? How much is the current flowing now to this RL? It is of 5 milliamperes. How much will be the output voltage? If I measure across the same port again, expected output, it should remain as a -5. Remember, if that current is increased to 10 milli, again that output should remain -5. If it is increased to 15 milli, again it should remain at -5. Are you getting it? So if I increase this current up to 25 milliampere, for example, and that condition, if I consider it as my maximum load current condition, this one, whatever output we will obtain, that will be of -5 volts, right? So what is happening, even if there is zero current or non-zero current, it will not going on to affect the output voltage. That output voltage will remain same, is it? This last condition, I will call it as voltage at full load. And this first one, voltage at no load. No load means there is no load current. Remember, no load is connected. And that's why there will be a zero current. Load current will be 0, right? And full load, this last condition, I will consider it as a full load condition. That means I will go on to take the maximum current by this RL as a 25 milliampere, and what I will check, I will go on to check the voltage. So ideally, the octane voltage, it will remain same. It will not go on to degrade, or it will not go on to affect. Okay. And to find out percentage load regulation, you might have learned it. Percentage LR equals to what? There is one formula, that is voltage at no load minus voltage at full load divided by voltage at full load into 100. Yes or no? This is the formula to find out the percentage load regulation, remember. Okay. So what is here? We will take only the magnitudes. What is voltage at no load condition? That is equals to 5. And voltage at full load? That is also 5. It remains same. Divided by, again, 5 into 100. So how much will be the answer? How much will be the answer? It will be 0%. Yes or no? So remember, percentage load regulation for ideal linear power supply or ideal linear regulated power supply, it is of 0%. Option may be given to you like 0%, 50%, 100%. Generally, we go towards the 100% right now while answering that question, but don't answer it as 100%. That percentage load regulation of a, we can say ideal regulated power supply, it is of 0%. And for practical one, it should be as low as possible. Practically, it might not be equals to 0%, but it should be as low as possible or closer to 0. Now, how it will be somewhat non-zero, that also we'll discuss. Now see, instead of taking that ideal case, we'll see now the practical consideration. So if my that load current is 5 milliampere, then this voltage, it may become minus 4.98 volts. At 10 milliampere, it may become like minus 4.95 volts. At 15 volts, it may become like minus 4.90. And at 25, it might be of minus 4.85 volts. Is it? This is, I'm considering the practical case. Okay. Now see, whatever percentage load regulation you will calculate, it will not be of 0%. Are you agree with this? Just determine it. For the shown values, calculate the percentage load regulation. Use the same formula. Voltage at no load, that is of 5 volts. Only take the magnitude. Huh? Voltage at no load, it is of 5, and voltage at full load, it is how much? 4.85. Right now. So this numerator will not be 0. It will be 0.85. Am I right? Not 0.85, it will be 0.15. Right now. 5 minus 4.85. Are you doing it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so determine it. Percentage load regulation, how much it will be? 0.15 divided by 4.85.
%.
How much?
3%, sir.
3%.
Yes.
Okay. So that percentage load regulation, it will become 3%. Now what care you have to take, or practically, see at 25 milliampere, the obtained output voltage, it might be like 4.95. Right now, whatever change I consider, this much change, practically you might not be obtained, right? So whenever that voltage at full load will be closer to voltage at no load, automatically your percentage load regulation will get improved and it will be closer to 0%. But practically, it will not be 0. Remember, that thing you have to remember. Okay. Then another term, that is percentage line regulation. Again, you can indicate it by the same abbreviation, that is percentage LR. Now it is line regulation. It is not load regulation. Okay. What is mean by percentage line regulation? See, generally we are considering input to the system as 230 volt 50 hertz. Is it? But we can't assure that input voltage will remain as a 230 volt. There may be a fluctuation, like it may become 200 volts also up to 250. Are you getting it? It might be 230 or might not be, right? If it is 200, if the supply voltage gets down from 230 to 200, or if it gets up from 230 to 250, what will be the effect on this output voltage? So to study this effect is nothing but percentage line regulation. Next one, okay? Now, while studying this percentage line regulation, you have to keep that IL as constant. So what I will do, I will keep that IL, suppose it is of 20 milliampere as a constant, and V in first column, I will go on to change the input voltage, and we'll go on to observe its effect on the output voltage. So first thing, suppose it is of 200 volts, that input, which is applied to the primary of transformer. Then if I change to 210, then 220, then 230, 240, and 250. Are you getting? This is our actual considered input voltage, but it might not remain exactly as 230. There may be a variation as shown. So if it is of 230 volt, how much output we are getting? That obtained output after our this LPS, it was -5 volts. The expected is what? Even if that input is somewhat less than that of considered one, that is 230. Instead of 230, if it is of 220, still the output of our LPS, it should remain same, that is -5 here also. And similarly, instead of 230, if it increases to 240, still the output it should remain -5. So this is the again ideal case. Even if there is variation in input supply voltage, the obtained DC output voltage, it remains constant. Are you getting it? And by this, we can find out that percentage line regulation as delta VO, change in output voltage, divided by delta V in. So see, how much is the delta V in? Delta V in from 200 to 250. Am I right? So that delta V in, it is 50. 250 minus 200. This is my change in input voltage. Correct. How much change in output voltage I observed? At 250, how much is the output voltage? 5. And at 200, again, it remains 10, 5. That means delta VO, it is 0. So how much will be the percentage line regulation? It will be again 0%, remember. Into 100, whenever you have to find out percentage, then you have to take multiplier as 100. So it will be of 0%, we can say. Are you getting it? But practically again, what will happen if at 230, that output voltage, if it is of -5, and at 200, if it is of, we can say -4.95 volts, that middle reading we will remove, we consider only the boundary conditions, and at 250, if it becomes -5.05 volts. Are you getting it? What I written? Practically, if supply input voltage is of 200, how much is the output voltage? -4.95. Whenever it will be of 230, then only it will remain as exactly -5, right now. And if it increases to 250 supply voltage, then that output voltage may get increased like -5.05 volts. Are you getting it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So try to find out the percentage line regulation in this case. How much is the delta VO? Delta VO is 5.05 to 4.95. Am I right? So take that difference divided by delta V in. Delta V in is 50. Correct now? And into 100, you will get the answer. And this is the practical case. How much it is?
.4.
0.4%. Okay. So that percentage line regulation of this considered linear power supply is of 0.4% only. Right? I think you might have understood about these parameters also related to any regulated power supply. Right? So if that linear power supply is regulated, even if there is variation in supply voltage, the output should remain constant. It should not get affected. Okay. Ideally, it is 0%, and practically it should be closer to 0% percentage line regulation as well as that percentage load regulation. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you again any doubt, you can ask. Related to any linear power supply, either positive regulated or negative regulated, anyone. And if no, then we will wind up our today's lecture, and during the next lecture we'll start another type of regulated power supply, and that is switch mode, SMPS. Again, the same terminologies will be applicable to that SMPS also, that is percentage load regulation and percentage line regulation. It should be of closer to 0%, or it should be as low as possible. Okay, but before going to that SMPS, during the next lecture, I will go on to design a dual power supply. Now see, I think our time is over, but still, see, my requirement is plus minus 12 volt in my application. I required plus 12 volt as well as minus 12 volt. So what we should do? We have to design both regulated power supplies, right now, by using that 7812 for positive 12 and 7912 for minus 12. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, how many transformers you will select?
Sir, one transformer with center tap.
One transformer with center tap. Very nice. And that circuit I will go on to explain in the next lecture, and then we'll switch to SMPS, because that circuit is also important one. And this thing you will require, I think, in our third assignment, second or third assignment is there, and that is data acquisition system, where we have to design and develop so many signal conditioning circuits, and in that you will require that dual power supply. And that's why at this stage only we'll design it, and then we'll switch to the next. Okay. So I think you might have understood each and everything of our today.